At Golf Weekly OTB is where you can get us. I was trying to get tweets, Nathan, for the show, which I'll do in just a moment, read out the best of them. But frankly, the whole thing has been clogged up with people, I don't want to use the word begging, but frankly, begging. Pleading, pathetically so, to be involved in Carlo. There's been a huge response.
There's been a massive response. So we're going to Carlo next Wednesday for an off-the-ball outing. Damien McGrain has very kindly invited us down. Peter Lawrie is coming as well. So we've got two of the greats down there. Yeah. Myself and yourself will hang around as well, Joe.
Hey.
So, yeah, it's going to be brilliant. So we've had a huge response. I've started messaging people over the last
day or so. Do you know what I've realised, actually?
It is potluck, Joe. I don't have any rhythm as to who I select.
No, I know that. But what I've realised in the last day is that my Gmail account is linked up to the Twitter feed. So any DMs we get...
You're getting
So I'm waking up to a lot of emails at the moment.
Well, they're all happy emails, though.
No,
everyone's delighted.
A lot of people saying thank you.
So we're not done yet. We're going to have 25 teams. We're going to have half them. So we're going to have about 40, 45 Golf Weekly places. So we'll split them. A lot of very good Golf Weekly listeners, as always, are just taking a place for themselves.
I know, it's amazing.
And saying, bring another friend of the pod. Some people come back and say, no, my mate is mad keen to play. But as long as they...
I'd be one of those people.
But you see, we need to be expanding. So we need to bring new friends of the pod.
Yeah.
I think this is going to work. As I said to you, I think there's plenty of friends of the pod right out there, and this is just the start of it, lads.
This is just the start of it. Yeah. You said it. This is the last one we're just doing, because we're friends with people. We're going big after this. We're going supersonic.
What does that mean?
I don't know. But we've got some unbelievable prizes. So our friends in Waterford Crystal are...
Oh, yeah.
Coming up with a prize.
This is the level of generosity you get sometimes. So when we did this classic at the Portmarnock Links 3 years ago,
I'd say.
A bunch of guys from Waterford Crystal who just happened to get selected. We didn't know where they worked, obviously, because how would you? But they got in touch like the week of it to say, yeah, we're coming and we're going to make up Waterford Crystal trophies for the winners. And just came along and just said, here you go, Waterford Crystal. And so they're going to come back again and do a little prize up for people.
So we might do that for the longest drive.
What's the format for this thing? What are we doing in Carlo?
What are we doing, Peter?
I don't think we've decided yet.
No, I think we're going to do...
Yeah, we'll do probably a team event and then an individual event as well.
I don't know if we're going to do an individual event as well, but we're definitely going to do a team event.
Because it takes too long?
It takes too long.
How long does it take?
Around Carlo's a great golf course, but
if we do an individual and a team, how long does it take? A bit longer?
Yeah, it'll probably take over 5 hours. So why don't we do a team event and a best team?
Is it acceptable to do Stableford 2 best scores a hole? I just don't love the whole Texas Hold'em not playing your own ball around a course.
Yeah.
Now, look, if we're going to be out there for 6 hours, then I'll totally do it. But if you can play your own ball and it's 2 best scores a hole...
No, to show off the golf course, I think we should go best 2 scores.
All right, well, you can talk to Damien and sort that out.
I'll talk to Damien.
And encourage people, if you're out of the hole, pick up your damn ball.
Exactly.
Yeah, keep it moving,
move
folks.
On.
Yeah.
But not only Waterford Crystal, we are actually going big time. Ping, Joe.
I've heard of them.
Ping.
Yeah.
There was another brand that we once liked, but I'm all about Ping right now. I love Ping.
What other brand is there?
I was lying with the other brand. I love my Ping G15 3-wood.
Yeah, you do have a G15.
I do.
We're up to G30, G35
I know. Where does it end? It's like now 100.
Look, I mean, if ever
I'll tell you where it ends. One is in the post.
If ever a man needed a replacement, it's a G15 player.
Well, listen, this is the time because Ping are going to be there and they're supplying some prizes.
Great. Such as?
So their premium custom-fitted golf brand.
Yeah.
They're introducing the new I200 iron models and the new 1500 models. And they're going to be bringing them down and they're going to be giving them away as prizes.
Nice.
Can we win?
I think we can.
I think we can win.
Yeah.
Are we all on the same team?
Are we on the same team? Are you back? Do you want to come back and play with us again?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
If I'm invited this time,
I feel bad playing in front of you, actually. I don't think it's fair on you to inflict us on you.
By the way, keep your tips to yourself this time. You ruined my game the last time. Just let me at it. Don't worry about it. No, I'm not worried about it.
Then don't ask me.
I'm not worried about it. I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you. You were just giving me funny looks as I was stepping up every time going, oh, what is this guy?
It's the looks. It's the looks as you're teeing up your ball and you know I'm all over the shop here. So you have to turn around and go, what?
Hold on a second.
Well, it was literally my first tee shot.
Before we started this program, Joe asked me for a tip.
I didn't actually.
Just this morning.
I just looked for confirmation that what I was doing was right.
Yeah, but so he hasn't taken that in the course yet.
Yeah.
Let's wait till next week and we get some feedback on your tip.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you're standing too far away from the ball.
In short,
after you hit it.
In short, when is this going to be wrapped up? Because people might be
So
taking days
we'll
off
keep
work.
it maybe till Friday, and we'll pick the last few. So what you've got to do is tweet at Golf Weekly OTB,
Yeah.
tweet at Carlow Golf Club 1.
Yeah.
Just send us your name, and
I'm just conscious
why you
people
wanna
might be
come.
trying to move around work things maybe. So this
yeah,
Friday.
This
we'll
Friday. So
draw
9
on,
a.m.
which is
tea
tomorrow.
time. So you're going to need to take the day off work or go in late.
Okay.
And we're going to record a pod afterwards. It's the day before the PGA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter,
so it's
Damien.
Wednesday, the 8th.
It's the
It's
day before the
actual
USPGA
day. Yeah.
next Wednesday.
So yeah, it's brilliant. Ping. Thanks, guys.
Well done, Ping.
Okay. So your tweets at Golf Weekly OTB. Conor McGee reckons, and he took a picture, that the 9th hole at Dunfanaghy is the best place in the world. Fionn Davenport's a big Dunfanaghy man. I've never played.
Was Dunfanaghy McGinley's neck of the woods?
Yes, yeah.
Have you?
A long time ago.
Okay. Len Dowling retweeted a PGA Tour tweet of Rory McIlroy's swing this week from above, like from one of the stands, slow
I was watching
motion.
that earlier.
Len just says pretty, huh? And it really, really is.
I'm surprised they don't use that angle. In fact, I'm surprised they don't use more angles, because whenever they're doing analysis of swings, it's still
Side on, behind.
side on. That is what we see.
Yeah,
But I mean, maybe they're just the two angles that you need.
they are.
Do you not learn anything from above?
Very little.
There you go.
Really, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of head movement and something like that, you know,
there you
but
go.
very little.
Owen Murphy finished the Tiger Woods book last week, and while it was interesting, he says, I feel it fell far short of the praise it received on the podcast. Some of the conversations were like dialogue from a bad TV movie, and the stories about the women, tabloid garbage. # friend of the pod. So Owen Murphy not loving the book as much as others.
But you see, it's not tabloid garbage. I always sort of assume tabloid garbage means there's
It's not
a
true.
possibility it didn't happen.
Yeah.
This happened. Like, it's grim,
Yeah.
but it happened.
Yeah. The dialogue from a bad TV movie. I mean, to a point, that didn't jump out at me, I have to say.
It's the second person this week I've heard say, I felt he overhyped that Tiger book.
Malachy Clerkin said that to me a couple of weeks ago, that maybe he thought it was fine, but maybe we overdid it. It's just like anything with Tiger, if it's anyway even decent, we probably get too excited about.
Wait till Jordan Spieth brings out his book.
Somehow I don't think Jordan's going to get into the same...
Well, unless Jordan has a secret life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never know.
Mr. Oz, who is a friend of the pod, you guys, I presume you checked out the petulant sulk of Bryson DeChambeau, he calls him, not even looking at Richard McAvoy after the last putt in Germany on Sunday. Maybe the science doesn't extend to manners or respect. That's a well-written tweet. A well-composed tweet.
So this followed on.
Not DeChambeau's finest moment.
No, but it followed on from a video that had only been released or been discovered
On the range.
in the previous sort of 48 hours of DeChambeau at the range at the Open. Have you seen this?
No.
Where
Have to see this.
it's a 2-3 minute video where he hits maybe 3-4 shots, but after every single shot, he can barely hit the ball, it feels. It looks like he's in some sort of pain. Can barely hit the ball, but every single shot, he turns away, puts his head in his hand, drops down onto his knees. There's 4 or 5 people around him all looking, just sort of staring into space, presumably because they've seen this all before. But he turns around, goes up to a wall, puts his head in his arms.
Breakdown.
Just cannot figure out what is going on.
When you say can barely hit the ball, I mean, he's hitting it. He's not in pain. It's not an injury. He's not upset because he's injured. He's just not liking what he's seen, and, you know, brain cannot compute. Like, just couldn't deal with it. And it is the bit where he walks off and rests his head against the wall. It's like he's been told, I mean, not too excited, it's like he's got news of bereavement and is like just in shock, can't stop moving, all over the place, comes back, hits another ball. And again, it's like throws the club on the ground. Just, it's hard to even make sense of.
Now, it is an isolated 2-minute clip, and we don't know what happened around it. I don't know what
could possibly make it okay.
He's had a shoulder injury coming into the Open. So maybe that was affecting him. If you got pain in your back, pain in your shoulder, it's
Then why
at
get
you
so
all
upset
day.
about it? Why get so upset
Because
about
the frustration just gets the better of you. He probably went there thinking, I am at the peak of my powers, I feel really confident in my game, and then he goes to the Open and it doesn't happen.
Well, the video aside, his reaction to McAvoy was, you'd have to say,
Horrendous.
Yeah.
Horrendous. Really, you know, all he had to do was shake Richard's hand, say, congratulations, well done, delighted for you, and walk away and, you know, smash as many golf clubs as he wanted. But you're talking about his range thing, and look, when you're in that position and when you can swing the club the way you think you can swing the club so well, and you're trying to work on something and you just cannot get it right, there's a level of frustration there that comes that going, like, why can't I do it this way rather than why am I doing it that way? And, that's understandable. But he's one of these, as they say, scientists come genius, come I don't know what. And unfortunately, he just didn't have the manners to go with it.
On Richard McAvoy, have you been in that position where you've played in one of the final groups, the guy you've played with has won, you've had a really disappointing round, you're seriously pissed off with life?
Many times, but you have to go up and congratulate him. Like, I got beaten in 3 playoffs on the European Tour, so you're right down on the line. And you have to shake the guy's hand and say, well done. Delighted for you. Congratulations.
Yeah. Just lie. Just do whatever you want to do in the real world.
Yeah.
Of course you don't mean it.
No, you're sickened.
No, you're sickened. Like, I threw away the Dutch Open in Holland.
No kidding.
And I bogeyed the last. No kidding is
Was
right.
it in the Netherlands?
Netherlands, maybe. Sorry, I was trying to think of the golf course and then I had to say the Holland. Thanks for that, Joe. Anyway,
could you be more specific?
Simon Dyson beat me on the last in the playoff.
Well, let's watch that back.
I wasn't very happy. I had bogeyed 15 to, unfortunately, get into the playoff or let everybody into the playoff.
Yeah.
And they got beaten. So, I had to shake his hand and I had to say well done, even though I thought I wasn't thinking that. But that's what you have to say.
DeChambeau, I said to you, Peter, outside, like, it's horrific. He blew up so badly. I mean, that must be a real worry for him to blow up that badly and hooked a few into the water and everything. But as McAvoy standing over his putt, that gives you the 10 seconds to stand there and go, this is horrendous.
Cameras are on me.
And I presume, I mean, he's never heard of Richard McAvoy before, but I presume somewhere along the line it becomes apparent to him or someone tells him that it's this guy's maiden victory. Golfers talk, who am I playing with tomorrow? I'm playing with McAvoy. What's his deal? Even just a cursory check on him, you'd know this is going to be his first ever win.
You'd have a fair, you would have a fair idea, yeah. You'd have a fair idea who you're playing with because you want to know how's he going to do.
Like, especially, I guess, when you're in a final pairing.
Is this guy going to crack or has he won before? I'd say he knows it's his first victory. So in that 10 seconds, it's not like in a game of football or something else where you react immediately and throw a dig. It's like you've got the 10 seconds to go, right. And as you said, shake hands, smile, give him a hug, and then go and beat the shit out of the locker room if you want. Just so petulant. He apologised afterwards. In fairness, he apologised afterwards.
Yeah.
Do you think it will...
Yeah.
He had to apologise afterwards. He was hammered on social media and who else hammered him?
Do you think it will affect what Jim Furyk is thinking around the Ryder Cup? Because he's one spot out of the places at the moment. He's got to have a very good chance of getting a wild card. Like, do you look at that and think there's emotion there that I can use as a positive? Or do you worry that the way they're setting up Le Golf National, where they're going to have 7,000 fans around the first tee, that this guy's going to crack, that I can't trust this guy when the pressure is on, that he's not going to respond in some way?
No, I don't think they'll look at it like that. They'll look at it based around his purely his golf game. And just because he played poorly on a Sunday in Germany, does that make a difference? Not really, no.
German Open in Germany.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Patrick.
What part of Germany?
Patrick perceptively wonders, is it just me? This is one of the great tweets. Patrick, is it just me? Or does Peter Lawrie have a blind spot when it comes to Jordan Spieth? No, it's not just you. Obviously.
I don't have a blind spot. I have a factual background knowledge.
The golf guy says, Noddy, I'm not getting into it this week. Guys, can you explain on the podcast, the difference between the seniors tour to the main tour, as I'm sure lots don't know, obviously apart from age, #friend of the pod. That's basically it. Tony O'Neill, Open 2018, Pure Class, Tiger Unreal, Rory not far away, USPGA champion.
I'm not letting him answer the question about the seniors tour and the
He did,
European tour.
That's it. Age.
The golf guy says, apart from age. I mean, does anyone want to add anything else in?
No. Well, do they play off different tees?
They play a shorter golf course, yes.
All right. Anything else?
Easier flags.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the US Open was a birdie fest. Yeah, just like go hunting, middle of the green. Anything else?
They can't use buggies. They used to be able to use buggies. They stopped that.
Okay.
But no, that's it.
Did you watch last weekend?
Tiny bit.
Looking at the seniors tour right now and where your game is right now, and looking 4 or 5 years ahead?
I haven't played it. I haven't played in a couple of months, so relax on where my game is.
Well, where do you think, if say you put the head?
I've got 6 years to go, so I'm okay.
All right,
I'm going to relax.
You'll give it a
but
go.
You need to keep it ticking over.
Absolutely, yeah.
You do need to keep it ticking over.
You do, yeah. Yeah.
So next Wednesday is going to be. Let's take next Wednesday seriously.
Well, there you go. I'm not allowed to give you lessons, so that's good.
This is a pension pot here.
I'm not allowed to talk to Joe, which is even better.
What?
And there you go.
I want lessons for every shot.
Oh, right.
Literally, I want to pick. I want you.
He wants
to
a
watch
different
me very
swing
closely.
on 18
Different swing
that he
call.
had on the first.
I would, if I was your age,
Yes, you are.
and had your golfing ability. I mean, I would be like targeting the seniors tour in a massive way. Be the money out there.
It's substantial in America. It's not as substantial in Europe.
European tour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Azinger was talking about it, how he didn't have any success on the seniors tour and it wasn't what he thought it was going to be, that he kind of felt it was going to be a nice retirement home, that he'd go for the week, he would enjoy his golf, that the course wouldn't be that difficult, and that everybody'd sit around in the evening and have a good time and reminisce and get nostalgic, and it'd be almost like a little bit of a holiday. And it was like, no. Firstly, my golf game was nowhere near good enough to compete week on week. And also, those guys are competitive. It's the exact same attitude they had when they were on the normal tour. They just want to go back to their hotel in the evening. They just want to focus on their round the next day. There's no great camaraderie. There's no great... We're all at the end of our career. It's pretty bloody ruthless.
And would you... I mean, is it quite exclusive? Like, so for the PGA Tour, can you go and qualify for it?
I'll have certain exemptions into the European Tour based on how much money I've won on the main tour and being a winner on the main tour, but that doesn't count at all in America.
So you'd have to qualify from
I'd
scratch.
have to go to...
And do they even take people...
I think they take 3 or 4 people every year.
So it's
it's really, really tight.
Okay.
And
That was
if
the
you
one...
won a major, would you count it as a major?
No.
Oh, jeez, I would if you won one.
No.
If you won the Senior Open,
Yes.
if Jimenez walked in here and sat down, I'd say, major winner, Miguel Angel Jimenez.
No, you couldn't.
No.
You couldn't. Monty. Look at Monty. How many majors has he won?
Everyone except for Monty, obviously.
0. But that was the biggest coup ever for IMG pulled to get Colin Montgomery into the World Hall of Fame. If you're a member of the World Hall of Fame, you're guaranteed access into the US Seniors Tour in America. Full stop, every week, no matter what.
Okay.
But
So
does Monty not deserve to be in the
he does
Hall of Fame?
He does deserve the Hall of Fame. For his Ryder Cup career and for being European Order of Merit winner so
7
many
years.
times. He's a Hall of Fame career.
Okay.
Just because he didn't win a major.
Do you disagree?
Can
No?
I leave now?
Just because he didn't win a major.
Your whole career is based around, when you get to that level, about winning majors. So if you've never won a major, should you be in the Hall of Fame?
That's a very black and white way of looking at it, though.
But that's what majors are.
Does his Ryder Cup career not count for a lot?
Ryder Cup's only a competition. It's a team competition.
And does his European Order of Merit wins not count for a huge amount?
It counts massively in Europe, but it doesn't count massively in America.
So you don't count him as one of the great golf players of the last 40 years?
I consider him one of the best golfers in Europe for the last whatever many years. But he didn't bring that status to America. And he didn't dominate the American tour where all the best players played when he was playing. Like Monty travelled around to European tour events in a car. And that's what he did. He went from event to event to event. He didn't play in the big events in America because he didn't like going to America. Because he was ribbed so many times on Ryder Cups and stuff like that about his weight and about the way he played golf and his extramarital affairs and whatever it may have been. But I said to somebody, we were talking about it at the Open there, about Monty being in the World Hall of Fame, and I basically would feel that the World Hall of Fame should have been around major winners and major winners only.
Okay. My apologies to the golf guy whose question about the Senior Tour I scoffed at, and actually it's turned out to be the most interesting part of the show.
Well, aren't you glad I went back, Joe?
Yeah.
So you don't have a
guy.
problem, say, with Jim Furyk ending up in a golf Hall of Fame?
None whatsoever. Jim Furyk's a far better player than Colin Montgomery was.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
really.
Whew. So we overestimate Monty in this part of the world?
Yes, because he dominated. It would take he He was a big fish in a small pond.
Can I put a quote to you that's just come back to me?
Right.
I asked Paul McGinley once,
Yeah.
who were the most impressive of all the great players you played with, and you were their playing partner, who most impressed you? And he said, I'll give you two names, Tiger Woods and Colin Montgomery. He didn't say Jim Furyk.
No. He probably hadn't played.
Well,
Discuss, okay.
If he played with Jim Furyk, I suspect he wouldn't have said him alongside Tiger Woods.
Colin Montgomery, let's go back to his career, right?
Yeah.
He hit everything left to right, and he was brilliant at it. He hit everything pin high. He was superb at it. And he held a lot of putts.
So far, so good.
And he won an awful lot of tournaments in Europe.
Yeah.
Right? Now, let's take him out of Europe. How did he do?
Don't know.
But was he not winning events in Europe when the European Tour was strong? When there was depth?
How strong was it then?
But was it not almost at a par?
Was there
at the
Americans
PGA Tour?
coming over to play with it? Was there in Monty's
Langer,
career?
Were they not on it, or were they gone to America?
Well,
He's not beating the likes of Faldo and Langer and some of these guys routinely.
He was, yeah. No, I wouldn't have said routinely. No,
Okay.
they played in not as many events as he would have played.
But plenty of times he would have beaten Faldo.
But look, that's only my opinion, and as everybody says, I have a quirky opinion. I have a quirky opinion about Jordan Spieth, and I have a quirky
You're
opinion.
wrong on Jordan
Who's
Spieth.
better, Jordan Spieth or Monty? Seriously.
Jordan Spieth has to be because he's won majors,
3 of them.
3 of them. Even though he's an average player.
Stop. Oh dear. God, interesting. Monty's fascinating, isn't he?
He's a fascinating, absolutely. He's a conundrum, and you have to put them all together.
Do you think with Monty in America that he had the game to win tournaments in America and that it was the mental struggles that held him back? That the pressure, the abuse he had to take, the inability to cope with that?
Correct, yeah. He definitely had. He should have won. How many US Opens should he have won?
At least 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his
that last one that he had the chance.
The 6 iron into the rough is dreadful.
Yeah.
Where was that?
I haven't a clue.
Who did he let in? Was it
No,
Els?
7 iron. He hit it. He missed the green
Missed the
right
green.
in the bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
All he had to do was hit the green, wins the tournament.
Chipped out of the rough.
Yeah.
But the rough was so thick the ball ran on past the hole. It missed the one coming back. That was on the 18th. That was a real choke.
Yeah.
For a man who never missed greens. He was in the fairway.
Middle of it.
Yeah.
Mickelson was involved in that one, wasn't he?
Potentially.
Did you let Mickelson into it?
I have a feeling it was Goose and or Els.
Right.
So it's in the 90s anyway.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. I walked in
Well, it
one
was
day.
the US Open.
Yeah, it was the US
So
Open.
it wasn't Mickelson.
Oh yeah, of course.
No, there
it wasn't
you
Mickelson. Yeah, Els or Goose and I feel.
I'm glad you're here, Nathan, because you just got a mind full of golf.
Okay.
Say that in such a patronising tone.
Body less.
Well, I was getting patronised there a few minutes ago about Germany and whatever else.
In fairness, you said the Dutch Open.
I did, but okay. I was trying to think of the name of the golf course.
You know, if you want to go down that route when we're talking about where the Irish Open is next year and where the Open Championship is next year, people from other parts of the world might get quite confused.
Well, that's going to be a minefield, isn't it? So, again, apologies, the golf guy. You've led to the most interesting 10 minutes of the show in the last 6 months. Tony O'Neill said, Open 2018 pure class. Tiger was unreal. Rory not far away. And Molinari was really good. So he took a picture on the 18th. He was there. Damien O'Brien loved his first trip to Castle yesterday. Happy with an 83. It's not bad. Alan Metcalf sent us a picture of this a couple of days ago. I didn't realise this. Chess and Hadley showed up to Dunleary Golf Club to host a clinic with the juniors, and they raised 12k for Laura Lynn and MS Ireland. Top bloke.
Well done, Hadley. Yeah.
It's funny how you say you didn't know this, considering on last week's pod we literally spoke about Chess and Hadley being outside Dunn's.
Oh yeah. I didn't know where it was. So that's right. Yeah. Nick Gordon, delighted to see a bumper open review pod available. Perfect listening for a perfect lazy day in Koh Samui. Friend of the pod. It's in Thailand.
Koh Samui.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll do it again.
I've been there.
Perfect listening for a lazy day in
You'd
Thailand.
like it, Joe.
Says
You'd
Nick.
like it.
Really?
A nice relaxing beach resort.
Picture looked good.
A lot of backpackers though.
Millbop, never thought I'd say this, but I'm now pining for the BBC coverage from last year. Yeah, this is on our USPGA discussion last week. It's terribly grim, isn't it? USPGA is going to come and go here.
Absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
Again, what's going on?
I don't know. It's
what
a
are
real
the
pity.
PGA doing? That's what I don't understand. This year it's on 11 Sports. You have to download it.
You do.
Dominic Collier is going to be presenting it.
Is he back?
He is.
Wow. Fair play to him.
We've literally sat by our phones for the last 3 weeks waiting.
They literally have some lad from YouTube as part of their presenting coverage.
Nothing for us. Not even a text. Not even a cursory, would you be interested? Blanked.
I find that with news talk too sometimes.
Wow, that was very hard.
There you go.
I'm thinking things were going very well for us, Joe. We were on a upward trajectory, and then Peter came in and started saying Jordan Spieth was a very average golfer, and they couldn't broadcast this because we would be subject to such ridicule.
Phone's gone cold.
That is the problem. It is the problem that 11 Sport is going to find, that they're broadcasting on Facebook. There's going to be instant feedback for everything that they do.
In the comment section. Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you've looked at our Facebook page, but people, quite often they don't come to Facebook to compliment you.
I've never looked. What did they say?
Nah, it's fine.
You're better off.
Fine, Joe.
I've never looked either, and I'm better off.
Genuinely, it's a bad thing to look because it'll affect your performance.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You'll start thinking, if I say that, they'll say this. And it's
Johnny down in Westmeath.
Totally. Yeah.
Can't be performing for Johnny in Westmeath.
Totally. So,
Did you get that when you were on TV3 with your million-odd listeners? Watchers?
I made a point. Someone gave me good advice before, and they said one of the skill sets you're going to need over the next 7 weeks is you're going to have to keep your confidence up. It's like that's actually a skill here. If you lose confidence midway through here because everyone hates you, you're doomed. So, your confidence is as important as the ability to read an audio cue. So you're going to have to keep it sky high. But then, after the first week or two, a few people said to me the comments are fine, they're all good, and there were TV reviews. Mary Hannigan was doing bits; they were all fine. They were all really good. So actually, the comments were fine, and it was good, and there were no issues. But for the first 2 weeks, I didn't even go near the Nathan.
Where's the glasses gone?
We told him.
Nathan set up various accounts just to abuse me, but I knew it was him every time.
What about that other guy who presents off the ball?
Yeah,
They should have gone for him.
yeah. But then after a couple of weeks, it was fine. But first 2 weeks didn't go near it because it's the last thing I needed. Shitting myself already. I didn't need more angst.
So did you turn on your phone at all?
Not for the first weekend. It was literally off. Left it at home the first day because I knew I wouldn't be strong enough not to turn it on.
Exactly. Yeah. How am I doing?
Precisely. So there we go. Anyway, no one wants to hear about that, Nathan, do they?
Certainly not me.
Right, we're going to try and check in at Firestone next. So let's cross over to Firestone. Jason Sobel, who is a regular on the show. It's been a while. Jason Sobel from Action Network. You're very welcome. How's things?
Everything's great. Should be a great week. We're looking forward to it at Firestone here.
I'm not familiar with Action Network. Should I be?
Yeah, of course you should be. It's a fairly new media company. We are a little bit specialized in the betting and fantasy part of the sports world. But as I always like to tell people, even if you're not doing that, our goal is to make you smarter as a sports fan. So I'm not that smart myself, so it's a little tough for me. But if I can help fans watch golf and be a little bit smarter about what they're watching, then I'm accomplishing my goal.
Okay, excellent. Well, bring us up to speed here. So, Firestone, it's the last time they'll be having this WGC at Firestone, which is a pity in some ways. I mean, it's a really good course. We've had great winners there. How are things shaping up? I guess, as usual, it's about Tiger, and mostly Tiger.
It is, yeah. It's a shame that we're not coming back here. I don't know about you guys, but if you ever want to get the flu, try going from Portrush to Memphis in July and see how that works for you next year. I have a feeling that many of the world's best players will not receive this tournament as well next year when it's on a different place in the schedule and a different place in this country. But as for the last one here, yeah, this is all about Tiger. It's really remarkable. I know a lot of people want to talk about, can he win this week? How is he going to play? I think we need to step back and look at the big picture, which is Tiger Woods 8 months ago, 8 months to the day, was ranked 1,199th in the world. He was uncertain about his future in golf, and now 8 months later, he's number 50 in the world. We're talking about, can he win this week at Firestone? I mean, this is just a comeback of epic proportions. I know he hasn't won yet. I know the comeback is not complete by any means, but just what he's done, jumping 1149 spots in the world ranking to get into this field is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely incredible, really. I saw he was asked, I was either yesterday or today, with Ryder Cup on the horizon, can you play 36 holes in one day? And he was like, yeah, sure, I'm doing it all the time at home. So, I mean, just more than anything this year, you wanted the back to last. You wanted it to hold out, to not be just a couple of tournaments. And like, it really seems, I find now for the first time, I'm not worried watching him anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And maybe we shouldn't feel this way. Maybe we are taking it for granted a little bit. Maybe we should almost kind of clench up every time he takes a swing and feel like, oh, hopefully this isn't the one. Hopefully he's okay. It sure seems like he's healthy. He's telling us he's healthy. But as we've seen in the past, he's been seemingly healthy in the past, and all of a sudden takes one swing and he's injured again and gone for a year. So hopefully, for the good of Tiger himself, for the good of the game, we hope he's able to continue playing. I think it's good for everybody. It's even good for the players out there trying to beat him, who enjoy playing with him, enjoy playing against him. I think it's great for some of these younger players to get a chance to witness Tiger playing really good golf and get to play alongside him. And I think obviously it's great for the game to have this sort of cross-generational challenge with Tiger and Phil Mickelson still playing really well. And then you've got obviously all these great young players in the world too. It's I really think, and I've said this for a few years, that if Tiger could ever come back, we could be looking at a little bit of a golden age in golf where you've got fathers sitting at home on Sunday afternoons rooting for Tiger and Phil, and their sons sitting along right beside them rooting for Rory and Jordan. And it's really cool, sort of that dichotomy between the generations who are battling out there on the course right now.
Jason, it feels as though this is the first week since the return that there's actually some pressure and expectation on Tiger. He's such a sensational record at Akron. Generally, when he was playing well, he won this tournament, and he's playing well right now. Even heading into the Open, and he was ticking along very nicely. Nobody was still quite sure how he would hold up over 4 days of a major. We know now he can pretty much do that. Did your sense from watching Tiger this week that he's coming to this tournament expecting to win it?
I don't know if I'd necessarily say that. I think the expectations are very similar to what we saw at the Masters. And he'd finished top 5 at Bay Hill. He'd finished in second place in Tampa. And so we went into the Masters saying, hey, this is a course he knows better than anybody else. He's playing obviously really well. We expect him to play really well. And he didn't. He had a very average week then. So I think it's very similar. It parallels that scenario that was going into Augusta, where we sort of expect it. Maybe he's not expecting himself to go out there and win, but we're sort of expecting him to go out there and have a really good week. I don't know if we're setting that bar just too high just yet. I think it'd be great. It's a terrific story, especially in the last year at Firestone, for Tiger to win here for a 9th time and send it off to a great farewell. I don't know if it's necessarily in the cards, though. And I think that we all have to just temper the expectations a little bit. I haven't heard Tiger say, I'm here to win. You know, it doesn't seem like the old steely demeanor of, I'm here to win, and anything less than that is unacceptable. He hasn't quite spoken those words yet, and I think he wants to win. I think he knows he can win. I don't think, though, that he's expecting to win. An
interesting part of the new Tiger is seemingly very close relationship now with Phil Mickelson. And, well, the talk of the $10 million match seems to have gone quiet over the last couple of weeks. They were out on course again, playing a practice round together. Is there a genuine closeness between the two of them now? And do you think that actually maybe Jim Furyk's been having a word with them and getting them out on the course earlier in the week because he sees them as a potential pairing at the Ryder Cup?
I think that would be great to see. I mean, let's face it, guys. As much as the Ryder Cup is a terrific competition, it's also a bit of a TV show. And you want to get ratings, and you want to get people watching, and you want to get people talking about it, well, that's one way to do it, is put Tiger and Phil together. And I think that the writing is on the wall a little bit that I would not be surprised to see the two of them together in Paris in a couple of months, and that would be really fun to watch. As for their relationship, I don't know that it was ever as frosty as sort of we made it seem. I think that they were always a bit friendly, probably friendlier than most people realized, but they just didn't hang out. They weren't running in the same circles. They weren't playing practice rounds together. Now they are. It's pretty cool. It's almost like, kind of, like I said earlier, that cross-generational challenge of the old guys against the young guys. It's almost like, hey, Tiger's saying, if I can't win this week, you know, maybe Phil or Zach Johnson, the other guy that was in their group for 9 holes yesterday during the practice rounds, hey, maybe he can win. You know, it's kind of us against them, which is pretty cool, which is pretty fun to watch.
But in that new Tiger Woods book, Tiger's mum always says, how's Fat Phil doing? A touch of animosity.
That's what you can shout, Joe, when Jim Furyk goes balls out first morning, Tiger and Phil, first pairing, 7,000 around the first tee, it goes quiet, and you go, hey, Tiger, remember when your mum used to call him Fat Phil?
Yeah, okay. So, can I ask you, I'm going to get the lads' thoughts on this in just a moment, but Dustin Johnson obviously cruised home at the Canadian Open and shot a final around 66, and so it's another year where there's multiple wins, and when he's on form, he just looks so brilliant, so 23 under par. And even on the TV coverage over here, you know, the guys in Sky Sports are just saying, like, this guy's the best in the world, and, you know, he's just so good, and, you know, world number one, and the gap is so big with everyone else. And yet, like, he's really underperforming at majors, we can now say, of Dustin Johnson. Like, really, he's not won what he should have won major-wise. And I was kind of I was angry at him, actually. I was a bit frustrated with him as he comes out off the back of Carnoustie and goes and cruises around the Canadian Open, shoots 23 under par. And you're thinking, what's going on with this guy in majors too often?
Yeah, I don't have a great answer for it, other than maybe it's coming, or maybe he just doesn't have the right mentality to go out there on major championship weekends. You look at what he's done during the first and second round of majors, and obviously the talent is there, the skills are there, the desire is there, and then he seems to fade on the weekends when you would think the number one player in the world would play better than everybody else and rise to the occasion. But it doesn't seem to happen for him. All I can tell you is that during these weeks when he wins, man, he makes golf look easier. As I wrote this in a column earlier this week, he makes golf look easier than maybe anybody before him, maybe anybody else. I mean, Tiger in his prime, I feel like, didn't make golf look easy. He made golf look impossible. You watch Tiger and you go, man, I'm going to sell my golf clubs because I can't do anything that he's doing. You watch Dustin Johnson, you kind of look at him and go, you know, if I was a little bit taller and a little bit more flexible, I could have been there too. You know, he just makes it seem like, hey, all you got to do is stand there and swing a club and walk down the fairway and go do it again. It just doesn't look that hard when he's doing it. Of course, that's not to say that it comes easy to him. That's not to say he hasn't worked. Obviously, he does. And I think all of that will come to fruition in another major championship at some point. I'd point towards maybe next week at Bellerive, which I think is going to be a great venue, and I think you're going to see all these big bombers, the DJs and the Rorys and the John Rahms, all up there near the top next week. And then you look at the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach next year. Dustin has dominated at Pebble Beach over the last decade or so, and I would expect him to be right there in that mix as well.
Yeah. You mentioned Rory then, finally. 2014 winner here at Firestone when he had that great stretch when he won the USPGA and the Open either side of Firestone. I watched his press conference last night. He seemed in perfectly good form. He was talking as well about how, not that he feels American or anything, but like he's really taken to America. Americans have taken to him. Very settled, really enjoys it. And he was saying some interesting things about his general preparation, going to courses early, not early sometimes. Maybe he hasn't figured out an exact science to any of it.
Yeah, I don't think he has. He seems like he's still struggling with, do I go in 2 weeks before a major championship and do nothing but play that course? Do I go in that Tuesday and figure it out? He said Congressional, when he wasn't there for the U.S. Open, he said he didn't get there until Wednesday, played a quick practice round, and then went out and dominated the tournament that week. So I think what Rory needs to learn is there's no one right way to do it. And even for him individually, there's plenty of different ways to get it done. And I liked what he said about this week as well, because obviously we've got the PGA Championship coming up next week, and he said, I can come in here basically stress-free. I know I get 4 rounds of golf. I know I make the cut, and I know I get some good preparation in. So basically I can play with almost house money and just say, hey, let me just go out there, have fun, not worry about the results, only worry about the process. And that's obviously helped him here in the past. As you mentioned, he won this tournament 4 years ago. I like him a lot this week. That pitter-patter of rain that we felt on Tuesday and a little bit yesterday, that's music to his ears. And a long, soft golf course should play right into Rory's hands. And I expect him to have a really good 2-week stretch here. I think he's going to win one of these. I'm just not sure if it's this week or next week. Okay.
Listen, great stuff. And listen, if you want to ask Phil in a press conference if he's read the new Tiger Woods book, then that would be just fine by us. Over to you.
I might do that. I might go look that up, take a look at it, and I'll read the passage to Phil and ask for a comment.
Okay, brave. I mean, if you do that, you'll be an instant hero, and Phil will may punch you. So we'll see how that goes. Jason Sobel from the Action Network, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Jason Sobel there. Brilliant as always over at Firestone. So some interesting bits and pieces there. I did watch the Rory press conference, and he was, reminiscing about different USPGAs in particular, because obviously it's on the horizon. So they were asking him about USPGAs, and he's obviously won a few. And he was saying, quite often, because of the stage of the season the USPGA is on, everybody's a bit tired. So a lot of players just rock up, and he said quite often you're playing the course for the first time on the Tuesday, even beforehand. And he's comparing that with Shinnecock, where literally he walked the course with a wedge and a putter. He had that much preparation done over the 2 weeks, and he's like, pfft. So I don't know. What do you do?
It's whatever suits yourself after a while. You know what I mean? You get into a rhythm,
and he
doesn't know.
Not totally. He hasn't seen enough of a pattern to know.
No.
He's tried both approaches, but sometimes the rocking up doesn't work, and sometimes the rocking up does work.
Yeah.
So he's like, it's a bit of a mystery.
What do I do here? Yeah. No, I can see him actually doing quite well in these 2 weeks. We all say he's had a not a great season, or he doesn't seem to be totally switched on. But I think these next 2 weeks, I think his golf game is so suited to Firestone. I think he'll give himself a great chance to be up there on Sunday.
Certainly redefine the season.
Yeah, I think he has a very good chance, Peter says, of having a very good couple of weeks, but very good isn't good enough. He has to win the PGA or the season has been a failure.
Yeah,
he's won at Bay Hill, but he judges himself on how many majors he wins, and you don't want to be sitting here on Monday week after the PGA and Rory going, just a couple of things. And here, we all sit and watch press conferences from golfers ahead of the tournament, and we're used to believing everything they say, and it turns out it's...
Majority of the time, so they don't tell the truth.
No.
You know what I mean? They just, they say what they want you to hear.
How has he not figured it out? Or actually have most golfers not figured it out?
No, I would say a lot of golfers have got to a set routine, and they just stick to it. Whether it works or doesn't work, very few would change it because that's what they're so used to doing.
Most have won 4 majors different ways, though. That's the talent of them. Yeah. Jordan Spieth is with Matthew Fitzpatrick. Hideki Matsuyama, I mean, God, we've forgotten his 61 last year on the Sunday when people said this guy's going to win forever and then goes off a cliff. It just shows how weird golf is. Matsuyama's with McIlroy. That's an impressive group. Tiger Woods with his good friend Jason Day. Stenson and Rose together. Justin Thomas is with Phil, and Dustin Johnson is with Francesco Molinari. My point about Johnson, I was a bit annoyed at him watching him on Sunday. I was like, what the hell is this?
I was just thinking about what you said there. The British Open, really took it out, driver out of his hands to a point.
To a point, though.
To a point.
And he did.
It didn't set up as a golf course that he probably likes the look of, where he can just stand up with driver and, okay, the bunkers are 330 to carry, that's no problem. I'll just hit it straight over the bunkers. And then, the ground was so different, and he's probably used to.
Can I beg to differ and just say, okay, the ground being different maybe, but I mean, he's played lots of links golf very well. And what we said about Johnson is from 100 yards in, he's been unbelievable. I still think he got to hit lots of wedges into greens. I actually think, and it's not like he's just had one bad Open here or one bad major. This is even coming to Firestone, they're like, well, he's won 5 WGCs. So he's beaten all these players a bunch of times. Actually, I'm starting to look at him now as the great underachieving world number 1 of the last 20 years.
Wow.
He's an underachiever.
Yeah,
well, he's won what? Each of the last 10 seasons on tour as well. Does he ever play above himself?
It always looks easy. I mean, I guess you'd have to say 23 under, killing the field. Is that above himself?
That's what I'm wondering. Just so you look, say, at the Open, and we went through it, the quality of finishes and the quality of players who've won it. And he can get himself in contention quite often over the first couple of days. But then we see the best players in the world step up another gear, that something inside them clicks, that everything is heightened, and they go to another level. I just wonder if the one thing that we always look at him as such an asset, that it doesn't click with him. And that maybe that's actually holding him back, that he doesn't have that extra level of, wow, this is the moment where I need to move up.
He lost me at Shinnecock when he was playing with Brooks Koepka, second last group, and just went to pieces, and Koepka showed him how to do it. I watched that Sunday and I thought, there's something missing here. This guy's not going to win more than 4 majors, and he should be winning 8.
Should he? Should he be winning 8?
No,
I think winning 4 majors is probably where he should be.
Okay, what's he on? 2?
1.
Is he still only on one?
He's only on one, isn't he? Yeah, he's never won the Masters. He's never won the Open.
No.
It's just his US Open at Oakmont.
Yeah.
That's chronic.
So he's an underachiever.
Underachiever. Like, it's a disgrace. What's going on with this guy? Like, the Harmons should be hauled up over this in Sky Sports. But, like, what's actually going on?
I don't think it's the Harmons. I think, you know, we've all said about Dustin, you know, he's one of these players that, as I said to you before, and I'll say it again, you either have to be incredibly clever to play golf or incredibly stupid. And sometimes Dustin varies on the latter end of that.
But I mean, stupid doesn't come into it for me. If you're winning WGCs, if you're winning every year on tour, if you have the game, if you're world number one, like if you play the course at Shinnecock or Pebble Beach or where was it, Clark won, St George's, Samwith, like stupid doesn't come into it when you've played the course so beautifully for 3 days and then blow up, or just...
It does. You actually start to think about it then, and that's the problem.
But like he doesn't think about WGC. He doesn't think of Ryder Cups. He doesn't.
When he was in it, if you ever look at him, when he's ever in a position to win a golf tournament, right, and he's nearly ahead of the field, he doesn't look backwards. He looks forwards, and he just keeps on going. But does he turn it around? And as you said, you know, has he got that extra gear when he's in that position to really fight for a tournament?
I don't know what's up with him. I actually think in every other tournament bar majors he does show that. Like, he's won WGCs in different ways.
Yeah, but to be honest, do they give a damn about WGCs? I think the pride of WGCs is that you generally have the top 50 players in the world, so you're beating your peers, you're beating the best of the best. I don't think it's necessarily the title of the World Golf Championship, whereas with a major it's the title of the major.
Fine, but Oakmont last year wins it in brilliant fashion, deals with the whole rules controversy brilliantly. Remember when Larry was in the mix? Is that 2 years ago now?
2 years ago. Yeah.
Like, so that whatever issue you have, okay, you win the first one. Now it should be like, oh, come on, man. Like,
Keep moving.
Maybe it's just really hard to win.
Of course they are, but...
No, he's had. He has won. He's definitely had himself in contention for another 6.
How easily.
And we probably let him away with the first... So I would always let him away with Royal St George because... He was middle of the fairway and he went for it.
Yeah.
He just hit a bad shot. It didn't feel like he bottled it, but then it starts stacking up and you go, well, actually,
Pebble Beach
maybe he did.
Pebble Beach 2010 with McDowell was one of the worst collapses I'll ever see. It was like out of the gate collapse.
But was the course not playing incredibly difficult that day?
I know, but like he was hitting it. I mean, there's collapsing and there's collapsing.
Well,
anyway, look, we'll see. I mean, he's got one more this season. Just to mention a few other quick bits, because we've kind of gone over time here. So, the pairings I've given... Laura Davies, I didn't realise this, the Women's Open is on at Royal Lytham in St Anne's, which is a really nice course. She was basically, she's really like feisty, Davies. Great copy. She was saying that the European Tour is just a mess at the moment on the ladies' game. Like, it's terrible. She says, it's not good, is it? I mean, we've not enough tournaments to play. I feel sorry for all the young girls coming through. And it's very hard, she says, to get over to America or to get on the LPGA Tour. So last week's Scottish Open was the first 72-hole event in Europe this year.
Shocking.
The thing has disintegrated. The women's game on the European Tour, the women's game is just like kaput, done, gone.
Mark Lichtenstein took over the ladies' European Tour.
Right.
And he got he was let go when Keith Pelly took over the European Tour. And really, I saw recently they're looking for board members of the ladies' tour, and they just don't have a structure there at this moment in time, and that's why they're struggling.
Yeah,
there's nobody pushing it.
They've pushed forward and organised a couple more competitions in Europe for the end of the year, but I don't think the prize money is
200 grand.
Like, it's next to nothing.
Yeah.
So the only route for young female golfers in Europe is to get a scholarship and go to America.
Get out of here,
as much as you can.
It's terrible. The Jared Lyle story is really awful, isn't it? Like, the picture, you can't return to life for a few minutes after looking at the picture. Him with his 2 daughters. I mean, it's just shocking stuff. Australian golfer, first diagnosed with leukemia when he was 17, reoccurrences in 2012, and then last year, and so he's decided to not seek further treatment. So the end is nigh. I mean, it's just unbelievably sad. And then you said you'd played with him.
I played with him down the Australian Tour when Europe was down there. Really, really nice guy. A bit like myself, young family. He went on to greater things. He went over to America, got his card over there. and did, you know, quite well. And then he had the recurrence of it and came back and beat it again and came back to play, and everybody was delighted to see him back, and which is great. But unfortunately, you know, it's just come back now, and all we can think is our thoughts and our prayers are with himself and his family when they go through this tough time. But unfortunately, the future's not bright.
No, it's horrific. Like, there's weird moments where Luke Donald tweeted him and said, you know, wishing you all the best, peace be with you, you'll be missed. Like, that, the horribleness of, you know, it's just...
there is no hope left.
No, you're going to be missed. It's dreadful stuff. So, yeah, you wish the family all the best. It's really, really terrible. In other far less serious news, we should mention briefly, McDowell is up to 143rd in the FedEx, and Larry's up to 159 now. They had decent weeks in Canada.
Yeah,
pretty
Shane
good
had a
weeks.
nice week, yeah.
Nice finish.
Hold a nice button the last to finish tied for 11th. So,
12th, yeah, sure, 12th, yeah, 11th, 12th. So I guess he needs to keep it going. I'd wondered would he get into Firestone, but they're pretty strict about previous winners, obviously.
So he's playing in the Barracuda Championship, which is the opposite event. It used to be the Reno Tahoe, but they play a sort of strange...
It's a Stableford format where...
Is it a regular?
No, it's a funny thing where if you make birdie, you get 3 points. If you make eagle, you get 6 points. You make bogey, you get -1 point. And par doesn't... Par just is par. It's just a 0.
Right. But it shows the power of the PGA Tour. First prize, the prize fund is $3.4 million.
Yeah. That's their lowest of the year. But they can host a tournament opposite to a
World
Golf Championship.
You know? Okay. That'd be a nice week to do well. I
Second
guess
favourite.
He's no choice but to do well.
So he's second favourite for it.
So I presume a Stableford thing like that is like balls out, go for it, everything.
Absolutely, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it mad, really? It's something we don't appreciate as amateurs. So we play Stableford in every competition. I mean, in our monthly medal, when it's strokes, you talk to everyone in the clubhouse, everyone's like, oh, Jesus, strokes. Like, the reality of what all you guys face, and by that I mean potential disaster, like tournament-ending disaster on every single hole. As amateurs, we're just not used to that. It's so hard for us to be aggressive, to do anything. Did you ever get used to it, or did you get to a point where you... Okay, this is terrible psychology, but would it cross your mind on almost every hole that, like, well, don't have a 10 here? You know what I mean?
No.
It must be there.
When you're in it, when you get yourself into a bad position, and then you say to yourself, right, what are my options here, and how do I limit the damage? Because, like anything, remember that Cavan Na incident, how do we count the shots, which is top of the show here. And that's a possibility, you know what I mean? So you have to look at it and you have to say, right, how do I limit the damage as much as possible? But you don't stand there thinking, no, I'm going to make 10.
Maybe not, maybe it's mid-thing. But isn't it the worst feeling, Nathan, when you're in the first 7 holes and you've ruined your tournament? You've shot the bed, you've spit in your bib, you've shot a 12.
2 points.
Yeah. No, Stableford.
Points is fine. Yeah.
But I mean,
it's talking about being 20 over or something like that.
Well, that's what I was about to ask you. What was the
hole.
earliest in a golf tournament where you thought, I'm gone?
First hole. Had to be a first hole somewhere.
Is there a first hole where you had a triple bogey?
First hole where you have a 7.
In the first, and you thought, bloody hell, I'm in Oman.
Okay. No,
how do I get my flight booked for tomorrow?
I'll be totally honest with you here now. South Africa.
Oh,
right?
It's a long way from home.
South Africa, playing in the Dunhill. And I stood up on the tee and I hit it straight right. And I stood up on the tee again and I hit it straight right. And I stood up on the tee and I hit it straight left.
Oh.
And that was the one time that my tournament was over after I hadn't even left the first tee.
And what did you end up shooting on the hole?
I made a 7 on the hole. Huh? I scrambled. I found one of the balls.
Okay, wasn't as bad.
Oh no, it was shocking. But I made a 7 on the hole, and then I tried to play on. But right then, I felt like just let the ground just swallow me up here, pack my case, and go home.
Yeah, nothing
Thursday
worse.
morning, bang.
I feel if that happened to me at a strokes play, I'd honestly say to the lads, honestly, I'm going to go back inside to the clubhouse and see will they just let me start again. They won't, obviously. you can't do that. You can't play the course twice. But can I just re-enter?
Do you remember who you were playing with?
No.
Doesn't remember anything about that day.
No.
Except that
moment.
I
remember a lot about that day, but that was one of
I'd say the caddy looks
crushing
at you.
moments.
The caddy looks at you and goes, you dickhead.
Well, I was flushing it. I actually did flush it in practice and flushed it on the range and then stood up, block, snap.
Because he's thinking, thanks, mate.
Where's this going? Yeah.
Cheers. Thanks for my 10% of this.
And it's funny, it's that tee down there. It's the back tee, and it's actually on a downslope. It's so small because they never use it. And I wish they'd just dig it up.
Well, you don't have to worry about that for a while.
No.
7 years.
No.
We're going big.
Never go back.
We're going on tour. We're going on the seniors tour.
Need caddies.
There you go. I have to build up this friend of the pod stuff first of all. And
Get us. Well, we can bring in an entire friend of the pod plane to the seniors open.
Yeah. That would be good, actually. I think we're pretty much done. We've gone way over time anyway. So Firestone, WGC, USPGA next week, which will be coming from Carlow Golf Club with myself, Nathan, Peter, Damien McGrain. Is that us pretty much?
That's us pretty much done.
Okay.
Thanks,
Peter.
lads. Thank you.